So when we take some time out and when we consider meditation or reflection, some silence as priority in our life, no matter what's going on, just like we don't stop eating, we don't stop drinking water, no matter what's going on. In the same way, if we consider this as the food, as the water, as the strength for the soul, these few moments of silence, this reflection, and even when we genuinely just sit for a few moments, just like we give time to do something in particular, in the same way, no matter how busy we are, if even we take during the day, even like 10 minutes, a few times during the day, like even 2 times or 3 times, it really, really calms down the soul. It helps the rushing mind to really calm down. And it gives such a beautiful vibe, such serene vibe to the soul that it gives a complete new direction to my thought process. But in reality, we actually forget to do that, or we think it is less important. And we think I do not have time because other things that are stressing me are more important. And we get into this cycle of the things that stress me more, we think more about it. Actually, it should be the other way around. The things that calm me down, the things that actually help me to cope or handle things in a better way, the things that gives me inner strength, those are the things that we need to actually focus and, and work on it so that they give me that support. Because today we all are, the world and every individual is going through something or the other, but the things that we are experiencing that actually makes us stressful are the things that we are indulging in most of the time. And all our thoughts are towards it. We are rushing into those thoughts. We wake up with those thoughts. We sleep with those thoughts. And so there is such heaviness. And there is such stress, and this stress is actually it's going on like a fire inside, And so when things don't go proper, we have the fire of anger inside us. So really, if we are getting stressed with the things that are not going right, and we are not in a beautiful golden age that things will go absolutely right the way we want. There could be delays, there could be the things that won't happen the way we want, or there could be people, when we think, that, oh, maybe they could have been a little more nicer, or exactly the people we want in our life may not be available. And, the country that we are living in may not be that right things are happening in the country. There could be many things because we are not, in a beautiful golden age right now. And so things will happen and are happening. But it's important for me that, that we do give that sort of time to, to really get that inner strength, going. Like yesterday, somebody was saying that, oh, meditation, there is so much going on in the world. How can I be quiet? you know, don't I need to, you know, fight back, or something is not right? Don't I need to say? This is how we kept thinking, and this is our, you know, the condition of the world right now. You know, this sort of thinking process, you know, pattern has brought us here, you know. So we always have mistaken, when we talk about calmness or peace, as passive, you know. And spirituality never ever talks about going to the mountains and make yourself isolated and sit there and don't interact with the world. No, spirituality is always strengthening us to have a better lifestyle, to have a more positive, a powerful lifestyle, a lifestyle where I'm able to drive myself in a better way and also help others to drive in a better way. But we always take it in a wrong way and keep spirituality, or the things that actually calms us down, or the things that give us more inner strength, power, aside, and we say we don't have time, wherein that's what is giving me energy to drive forward. And so why do we think these things are actually passive? No, spirituality makes us more sensible, to use our sense in a right way at the right time. It doesn't make us passive. So this is one of the misconception that we have to come out of. You know, when we talk about detached observer, people say, oh, something is going wrong, then I have to be a detached observer, I shouldn't be doing something. No, it's not like that. When we talk about calmness, people say, oh, we have to be calm, something is going wrong, don't we have to react, you know, these kinds of things. This is what has brought us, you know, make the condition of the world today what we are in is like this. So unwind these thoughts and understand the power of silence, the power of calming down your mind, the power of spirituality, the power of reflections, your spiritual practice, because this will help you to be actually internally active, and your mind has the strength to think right. Your mind has the power to make the right decisions at the right time. Your mind and intellect, or your habits, have the power to have more controlling power, which we need all of these things, right? So giving time to these things is no harm. It's actually strengthening us. It's actually putting us on track. It's helping me to think better, do better. Don't we want to do that? And we all will scramble at the end of the day. I should have done better. I shouldn't have done that. Oh, this is like this. Wish I could have more peace. Wish I could have more happiness. Then why don't I do the right things to, you know, experience that? So the more I give these, you know, moments, the more I help myself to experience that coolness. And today we are talking about this power of coolness, you know. So today, like, you know, people talk about, especially the young generation, talk about be cool, be cool. And they do, you know, like physically things to make themselves, you know, being like cool, or like, you know, pretending to be easy, those kinds of things, right? So coolness is such a power. So we don't have to physically wear something uh, to find ourselves, to make ourselves easy, but actually we have to work on, which is wonderful, which is good, you know. Physically also, if you're wearing glasses or things like that, then they say it's cool. Okay, that's fine. But internally, our mind, our intellect, you know, have to work on allowing those vibrations of coolness to be experienced. It's a wonderful experience, you know, to have that coolness in my senses and in our mind, in my mind. in meditation, when I'm experiencing, I'm working on my senses, I'm experiencing that inner calmness, that coolness. It's like I'm allowing all the speed of my thoughts to just calm down. What's happening? My speed of my thoughts are just rushing, rushing, rushing. Because they say everything begins from the mind, right? Everything, what our senses do, everything begins from our mind, they say. So I have to keep checking, is my mind like, calm, cool? So practice on this. It's actually wonderful to experience, allowing all my thoughts, like my mind, just calm down. Let these waves of coolness be in my mind. Let my thoughts not just rush into, one after the other. But when the mind is actually cool, it's more sensible. It knows which direction to go, right? When you're rushing and you're driving, how do you drive? It's dangerous, right? But when your mind is cool, you're driving in the right way, you're sensible, you're actually looking at your blind spots too. You know where to drive, where to take a turn. And sometimes it's like, recently when I was driving, I heard like it was a red light and I just stopped. And then the car in the side lane, it was just rushing to go, and somebody from inside that car, shouted, "Stop, wait, it's red light, like stop." So the window was open and I could hear that. And the guy immediately put, very sudden brake at the red light. And so it's like when we are in rushing in things, we don't know how we are actually directing, our thoughts and our actions or our words. So this power of coolness, reflect on this beautiful virtue of coolness. When we experience taking those moments, I am this peaceful being, allowing that cool waves in my intellect and mind to flow. And so because a cool mind is a stable mind, a cool mind is not passive. A cool mind is actually powerful and stable. There is power. A cool mind is unshakable. It's not, anything can just shake, because I'm thinking right in the cool mind. And so there's a lot going in the world, right? So can I be someone who is actually cool and calm? How is their face? Their face, their gestures, all their senses are also calm. So when you look at a peaceful face, how do you feel? You feel like looking at it, right? Somebody who's cool and calm, you feel like approaching them. So check yourself. Since morning, how was your face? Was it cool and calm? How did you keep your face? Or did you keep your face like, oh, what to do? I have a lot to do. This is going on and that is going on. So check your face. Is it vibrating? Is it actually emanating that coolness? Because say someone who is traveling by foot, and in those days, there were no, like, a few years ago, like, if we go back to 70, 80 years ago, or just before that, like, not many vehicles were there. People mostly traveled by foot. And so when they used to travel from one place to another, they used to always look for, a tree for shade, right? Why? Because just few moments of resting under the tree gives such coolness. And then he gets re-energized. Again, he keeps walking. So having that coolness with me, I become like a tree who is always giving that shade of coolness to others. Can I be that soul? So how many times do you see your face in the mirror during the day? Actually, I think brothers look at the mirror maybe less, I think, than sisters, I guess. Maybe there are some brothers who look more than sisters, I guess. But so whenever you look at your face, what do you see in the mirror? Do you count how many wrinkles? Or wow, my makeup is gone. Now, whenever you look at your face in the mirror, just see, am I like, all my senses are cool? Do I look cool? Right? Is there that calmness in my face, in my gestures? Because the whole world, if you see, everyone is experiencing some sort of fire. So one of the fire that everyone experiences is experiencing the most is the fire of anger or the fire of vices or fire of getting disturbed from inside or getting upset, frustrated. This fire of anger, the fire of reactions. So when somebody is in that fire, let me be that tree who gives actually shade of coolness. Now, if I am also fire, then what happens? I'm spreading that, right? So let me not be instrumental to spread that fire, but spread coolness. Yesterday, when I was sharing about this, somebody said, oh, this is happening in the world. Don't you think we have to react? Don't you think? So then I said, oh, so are you going to help? Can fire help extinguish the fire? No. You remember that story which we tell our, little children, or maybe you must have heard when you were children, when there was a fire in the forest, and everyone, all the animals are just, are like, scared or in fear, and all the animals are just, talking about the fire. Look, there is fire, but nobody's doing anything about it. Everyone is just talking and getting panic about the fire. But this little bird, it goes and gets a few drops of water in its beak and comes and puts on the fire. And so the animals see and think, what is this one doing? This little one. What this little one can extinguish the fire? This bird is foolish. But then the bird didn't stop doing it. The bird kept going and picking the water, and even its few sprinkles, it was doing its work. And then slowly the other animals started to notice that and started to, respond to that. And so another animal thought, okay, if this little one is doing, let me also start doing it. The other one goes and gets water. The other one does, another animal, and then elephant does. And so it's not that, I'm alone, what change I can bring in the world, how can I be? Each one is responsible. What's happening right now in the world, each one of us is responsible. What happens in our community or in our homes, each one of us is responsible. So I should never think that, I alone, what, transformation I can bring. No, it begins from each individual, right? It begins from me. I have to start doing. I can never say, well, it's okay, the whole world is the same thing, everyone is doing the same thing. What difference it makes if I do something differently? Why not? I can make a difference. So let me be that person, that soul who is not spreading the fire, but spreading coolness. So fire cannot extinguish fire. I can be that soul who can make a difference. So maybe, it begins from home, from the self, from home. Before even it's reaching the world, my world could be my home. What difference am I making? So if there is fire in the home, meaning somebody gets angry when at workplace or anywhere, am I that cool being who is actually extinguishing that fire, or I'm just spreading that? So this is one of the fires that I can extinguish with my power of coolness. Let me be the one, even though I'm that little bird, let me even sprinkle that drops of coolness. The second fire that is going on in the world, in everyone's mind, is the fire of fear. There's a lot of fear, right? A lot of fear in the world. Think about what's happening in Ukraine and everywhere, like so many things. And so people are in so much of fear of not knowing what's going to happen or what's happening. So fear is also like a fire. Why? Instantly it spreads. If one is in fear, I can bring that fear into another one. Through my gestures, through my words, through my vibrations. So it's like a fire that's everywhere right now. But can I be that powerful one who has that power of coolness to help support the souls, come out of that fear? But first, to help others to come out of that fear, first I have to be cool and calm, right? I have to become fearless. So when I have this power of coolness, I am fearless because I have that stability. So how can I also become fearless? It's not about just, I have to become fearless, but what makes me fearless? What do you think makes you fearless? There is something, and you have to be fearless to even help others and yourself. So what is that you will think of? What makes you fearless? So one is definitely being fearless. One is definitely, one of the aspects is faith, trust, faith, that nothing is going to go wrong. So sometimes the first thing is that we start to think negative a lot, right? We think, how can I have faith? Something negative is going on. Already, before even that negativity is going on right there, I am thinking negative, that it won't happen. That's a negative thought, right? And so it won't happen. When we think this is how it's going to be, this is it.
Sister Madhvi, sometimes people around you, they gives you that feeling that you get more scared, because just like example, I'm taking my example. I want to be free. I want to walk myself. I want to, but everybody, no, you're not supposed to. Oh, so what? I will be bedridden all life. I have to get courage to walk around. So, and then they say, see, I told you not to go. So that's why you fall down. So how the person is going to get courage, when you are discouraged from everywhere?
Hmm.
Because I
I
want to have my own courage. I don't want anybody to tell me like that. But
absolutely. Yeah, that is true. I mean, a
yeah,
right example that, the
mhm,
whole world is actually,
yeah,
right there to discourage you and make you fearful. And but
hmm,
but this is where, you need to have faith. Of course, there are certain things. There
hmm,
are certain things. Now, cautioning is one thing, right?
yeah, hmm,
One, because of whatever is going on inside them, they will caution you. But again, I have to be cautious too. I'm listening to them,
hmm,
but I'm not influenced. I'm not fearful, but I'm taking the caution. Yes, you're right. I have to be cautious. But then, sensibly, even I have to move along. If other person is saying, okay, you'll fall down, don't walk. Okay, I understand that. But even I have the faith that I can walk. I
yeah,
have the confidence that I can walk. And if I feel that's right for me to walk, I walk, but taking all precautions, I walk.
hmm,
Because if I don't take precautions and I do it, then maybe the consequences can happen. And the same thing happens with parents and children as well, right? Sometimes parents, they do caution children that, don't do this, this can happen, you know. So if the child still goes ahead and does it and something goes wrong, then, you know, but of course, again, experience, sometimes I've experienced, and then, sometimes kids, okay, they learn from it. But then it's also important that I take the caution. It's important that I do keep in my mind that caution, but I'm not actually, you know, uh, cutting down on, in a sense, like I'm, pulling myself back from doing that. If I feel confident enough, and if I feel this is the truth, anything it could be, that's
yeah,
one of the
anything.
example you gave, but anything, if you feel right inside, and if you feel you have the confidence to do it, if you have the faith that you can do it, you do it. But taking all precautions is
Mhm.
very important. So if somebody is scaring you, one is giving you a caution,
Yeah,
but the other thing is scaring you.
yeah,
So, but you have to stand in that power of coolness.
hmm,
You have to have that faith. No, this is what I feel, it's the right way. And if it is not causing any kind of harm to me and others, I go ahead and do it. Right? So like somebody was saying, oh, this person has been giving me like, whatever trouble from last 30 years, I'm experiencing something, they're giving me trouble, or, giving sorrow or something like that. But then, yes, that person is giving, but why have you been taking from 30 years? 30 years you're saying I've been taking. People who are around, they will always give what they have, they will give. But I have to make a choice. But that's what spirituality is. It's making me sensible. It's allowing me, it's actually giving me the right sense to make right decisions at the right time. So if that person is giving for 30 years and I've been taking for 30 years, and now even after listening this, I will still continue to take, because that's my habit. I haven't done anything to change that. I haven't used any methods not to take. So sometimes we just, very easily we complain about things, but we are really not doing or using any methods to change that pattern. So we're talking about fearlessness. So one is faith. That's why they say faith brings victory. A lot of faith in what? In myself, in God, in time. Everything is going to go well. Really, why not? Why don't I have that sort of, positive? I know, it's like things are not going right, but still have that faith. Why? Why? Because my right thoughts will lead me to righteousness. For sure, because it has power in it. Another thing can also make me, fearless is God's hand and his presence. Very important, right? Experience that canopy of, God's protection, that light. In Hindi, it's a beautiful word, hath or saath. Taking his help, having his presence in my life is very important. And so there are so many methods that I can actually use to experience, that fearlessness. So the whole world is experiencing this fire of fear. And let me be that embodiment of coolness who is actually helping others to come out of it. Let me not be the one who is spreading that fire more. And the third fire. Another fire that the souls are experiencing today is the fire of attachment.
Oh, yes.
So attachment brings a lot of sorrow to the soul. So it's like attachment is bondage. So think for yourself, should I be attached, which creates bondage, or should I have love, which creates that balance of detachment and love and being loving? Right? So where do I want to be? So understand this feeling of being in bondage. Attachment creates that sort of bondages, and so we feel stuck. We want to come out of it, but we are unable to. Attachment, bondages. So this power of coolness is allowing me to, rather than being in bondage, it's actually helping me to be in relationship. Relationship helps me to grow, helps me to share, helps me to be happy. Bondage actually squeezes me.
Yeah.
Bondage gives a lot of pain. And so today the entire world is experiencing this fire of bondage. Even though they want to come out of it, they're unable to come out. So check yourself, during the day, like, am I in any kind of bondage that pulls me back? Is there anything that creates an obstacle in my growth, in my internal growth? Because attachment towards anything can cause an obstacle. Even let's take an example of attachment towards my opinion. If I have a very strong opinion about something, right, and say others are not ready to accept that opinion, or that opinion is causing some kind of disturbance, but I'm just stuck to my ideas and opinions so strongly because of my ego. So it's actually bringing a lot of harm to me, right? I become very stubborn about it. And this is my idea, this is my opinion. I become so headstrong. So it's like a fire because it's creating disturbance. Then when I'm so headstrong, nobody wants to work with me, right? And so attachment towards my ideas and opinions. So every time I have to check myself, am I actually being in bondage, or creating a bondage to others? Or am I being in relationship with everything? A relationship with my mind, not bondage. My mind should not become an obstacle towards anything. Even if I want to meditate, I want to do something right, my mind should not pull me into so many things. That's a bondage. So having a relationship with my mind, having a relationship with my habits so that my habits can act the way I want, having a relationship with, even with my body, you know, having a relationship with others and not a bondage. So anything I am in bondage can create an obstacle, can cage me in, can create that disturbance to me and others, which spreads like a fire. And the fourth fire is the fire of repentancy. The whole world, right? There is somewhere or the other in everyone's life, somewhere there is a fire of repentancy. In Hindi, it's called Paschatap ki aag. I hope I said it right. So it's like, the fire of repentancy. I have to keep my senses so cool and calm that let my senses not do anything as such that I feel I end up in repentance. So that sort of guilt, oh, I shouldn't have done it. Why did I do it? That makes the soul so heavy. There's a nice story about a boy. He was angry young man, and so everyone complained about him to the father. Look at your son, why don't you teach him? He's too angry. He always fights with everyone. And so one day the father was very tired of his son's complaints, and he said to his son, what should I do? And so the son has a little realization and he says, oh, what should I do? I don't want to get angry, but I'm getting it. So the father says, okay, let me help you to get, finish your anger, to transform your anger. And so he says, son, whenever you get angry, come and hammer a nail into this wall. And so son says, okay. And so every time he got angry with someone, he came to this wall and he hit the nail into it. And so he kept seeing that each day, each time, how many nails he's hitting. Now he's practically seeing how many times he's getting angry.
Yeah.
So after some time, he started seeing that the entire wall is like filled with so many nails. And so one day he got fed up and he started to realize that is right. That's why people actually dislike and, say things to me. I am getting angry. Look at this. Look at this wall, what I've done. How much of fire of anger, like how much of harm I'm creating to myself and others. And so he goes to his father. And so he started to work on his anger. And then slowly there came a time that he stopped hitting the nails. Mm-hmm. And so he told his father, Father, I think I'm getting control over my anger. And I see how much of harm, I've been doing to myself and others with this anger, because the wall is full of, nails. And so his father said, now I don't hit nails anymore. The father says, very good, son. He says, okay, now what you have to do is, you are not angry, but now do something good. give happiness, do a positive action. Now sprinkle that coolness, say cool words to others, behave in a very cool way, in a calm way to others. And whenever you do that and others become happy with you, come and remove the nail from the wall. And he says, okay. And so he starts to do that. Whenever somebody is happy, they appreciate him, or they were happy with his words, he came back to that wall and he started to remove the nails. And so slowly and slowly he started to see that one day all the nails have been removed. So he becomes very happy. He goes to his father and he says, Father, I removed, all the nails have been removed. His father says, okay, very good, child. Now go and just stand in front of that wall. And he takes him to the wall, and the son is looking and the father is looking at the wall. And the father says, child, what is that you're seeing on the wall? Now, what is that he's seeing on the wall?
The holes, yeah.
So he makes him realize it's not that I do something and then realize and then repent on it, and then I'm actually removing the nail, but let my actions be such that I'm actually not even hitting the nail into the wall. So it's like thinking, having that controlling power, having that coolness in my mind, intellect, before even I do any task, let me be calm, cool. It's not that once I react, already that karma has been done, because that all those holes, meaning like once I do perform any action, the consequence I have to face. So let me not end up in any kind of fire of repentance, even before I speak anything, even before I'm thinking anything, even before I am doing anything. Let me actually pause. And that pause only happens when I accumulate the power of coolness in me. This practice of coolness is absolutely powerful. Do not underestimate, this power of coolness. When I am actually cool and calm inside, I spread such powerful vibrations. My mind is actually calm and stable and powerful. It acts in a right way. Even before I do into, I get into something, I think twice. There is a term called trikaldarshi. It's a powerful term, meaning anything you do, before you do, look at the three aspects of time, meaning what if I do this, what will be the consequence of it? What will I experience? So this power of coolness is actually helping my senses to have that power of controlling. So it's called ruling and controlling power, meaning my senses are absolutely in my control before even they just go all over the place. So let me not be a soul who get into this fire of repentancy. But if there is someone, who is experiencing this, let me be, a soul who can spread that coolness. Let me be a soul who can make others realize, in a very subtle way, not even by telling you're doing wrong. No, even by very subtle way, can I bring that shift in them? So let me be that soul who accumulates such power of coolness inside me. And there is in the East, there is a feminine Shakti, and she is actually remembered and worshipped as Shitala Devi, meaning the goddess of coolness. Everyone goes and worships her, remembers her, as the goddess of coolness. And so it's not just going in front of her and just worshiping, right? It's also becoming, she's actually inspiring us. You know, she's being an example. Hey, you can be like me, you know, that Shakti of coolness. So let me be that Shakti of coolness who spreads, because the whole world is in all these fires, as we spoke about, you know, talked about the fire of anger, fear, bondages, you know, repentancy. So let me be that beautiful tree who, you know, spreads that shade of coolness. Let me be that Shakti who spreads, who extinguishes that fire which is, you know, spreading in the world. Let me not be that fire again, you know, oh, this is happening, let me also react, let me also spread some more, you know, fire into the world. There's already so much going on. Why I have to be another one? Like yesterday, that's what I was exactly telling the lady. She's like, oh, these people are reacting like this. This one is doing, you know, how can I be cool? So how will you extinguish? This is how you're going to spread the fire. So experience being a Shakti of coolness. Let my mind, my intellect, my habits, my physical senses, my face, and my gestures vibrate that coolness. Sprinkle that drops of coolness on everyone, onto this world. Let the world experience coolness. Let every mind experience that power of coolness. So be that Shakti. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Om Shanti.
So anybody has anything you want to say or ask, or shall we do a few moments of, you know, meditation, a few moments to experience that coolness? So just for a few moments, sit relaxed. And just drop everything in your mind. Right now, nothing is important. Just drop. Let all the thoughts of your mind calm down, slow down. And create this one powerful thought. I am a Shakti of coolness. I am a Shakti, a being of coolness, radiating the cool rays of coolness. As if I'm completely dipped into the cool ocean The speed of my thoughts has slowed down and has come to a point the mind is absolutely quiet, calm, deep, deep calmness, coolness. In this coolness, I'm absolutely stable. No reactions, just very stable. All the senses of my face calm and cool. There is deep silence visible in my face, on my face. All my physical senses absolutely in control, silent, and cool. No movement, no disturbance. Stable and powerful. I'm radiating these cool vibrations into the atmosphere, just like a tree gives the cool shade. I'm spreading this coolness. Let these vibrations spread far and beyond and extinguish the fire of the world. I am a Shakti of coolness, a Shakti of coolness. Om Shanti. Stay in this coolness. Carry this coolness as your personality. No matter what you're doing, experience this power of coolness. Om Shanti.